Dear students, in our previous class we are already learnt about the second chapter of the geography, that is the land, soil, water, natural vegetation and the wildlife. So in which we studied about the land and its two factors. In today's class we are going to learn about the classification of the land and the conservation of the land resource. So here students, first we talk about the classification of the earth. So here students, land is classified into the groups on the basis of the ownership. Here students, here it is classified on the basis of the ownership. Here we see that is the we see the two groups, that is the private and the first one is a private land and another is the community land. That is the community land. So what is the meant by the private land here students? So here students, here the private land is a land which is owned by the individual who owned the land here students. So it is owned by the individual, is called as the private land. If we talk about the community land here students, it means here it is a land which is used by community for common use. Community used. It is used by community for common use. Common use. Then it is called as the community land here. So here students, for example, for this community land is collection of fruits and fodder, and for medicinal uses they collect the herbs and for collection of the nuts. And their land, this land is also known as the common property land. So the commercial land is also known as the common property land. Common property, because this land is used all the people. So that's why it is called as the common property land here students. So here students, as we know that our needs are growing and day by day here students. So that's why our demand also growing. But the problem here is the land is limited and the quality of the land is differ from one place to another place. So people satisfied their needs started encroaching the common land to the commercial purpose. For the commercial purpose, they built the commercial areas and they expand agricultural land in rural areas. In urban areas, they build the housing complexes and the changes in the land also reflects the cultural changes in the society here students. And it is because of the constructive activities here, the expansion of the agriculture, we see a major threat into a environment, that is the land degradation, soil erosion, desertification, landslides, etc. are come under this construction. So here students, if we talk about the conservation of land resource, here students, we are already in a fear of losing this natural resource because we see a large scale of destruction of a forest, covers and arable land here students. So why it happened here students? It is because of Why it happened here, student? It is because of the growing population and their growing, ever growing demands, which led a large scale of destruction of a forest. And for that used some common method to check the conserved land resource, such as the land reclamation, regulated use of chemical pesticides and fertilizers, and check on overgrazing are some methods used to conserve the land resources here, students. So dear students, in today's class we are learnt about the classification of the land, that is a basis on the basis of the ownership. We see the two groups, that is the private land and the community land, and the community land is also known as the common property resource. And in conservation land we are discussed about how to conserve the what are the method to check the conservation of the land resource here, students. So that's all for today's class, students. Thank you.